Okay, this video will be about Class Dojo. Class Dojo is more of kind of like a behavior management system, and it's all used online, so it keeps track of everything for you online. What's great about this is you can share students with teachers. So I work with sixth grade students, and all of the sixth grade teachers actually use Class Dojo. And so you can do it where, like, I could reward students in their classes with that same dojo person that they have, or I could create my own account for each student and add and just keep that and add to theirs just in my room. So as you can see, this is from last year, so it asks, okay, are you still using this class from the different homerooms? And I won't be since they're moving on, but after you sign up, you can add a class. So I'm just going to say Mrs. Russell's class. And since I have sixth grade this year, add class. So now you can add a student. So I'm just going to put example, and then I'm going to be okay. Now, like several other applications, Class Dojo kind of walks you through how to use it. So parents can also have access to Class Dojo, as this explains here, and they can get reports based on how their child is doing on that. And so they prepare invites specifically for you. And then it just downloaded an invite there. And I'm just going to do it. You can actually create your own skills. Otherwise, you can use these, the positive or the needs work skills. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could award the whole class, which if there's more than one student, let's say they're all working harder, they're all on task, so I can say, okay, the whole class got 1 point. Now I only have one student in here, so if I had two students, it would say 2 by whole class, okay? You can use it for attendance, which is helpful, especially if you're using it with grade levels, because then you'll know, oh, this person's not here today. You can award multiple students at once, so if I had more than one student, I could just click them and then another student and give points based on something that they did, so it goes a little bit faster. You can randomly pick a student to check up on, and it'll just say, click on the student. Now I only have one student on here, so it's obviously going to go to that one. And you can say, okay, I'm just going to randomly choose someone to see if they can get a point. And okay, this person maybe is off task right now, so they don't get a point for that. There's a timer, so let's say you're doing a group activity. You can just start a timer. That's kind of an additional stopwatch or countdown. The big ideas here, it'll show you a video just on what class story is. And I haven't used this a great deal, but the general ed teachers have their student stories. And see here. So class story. If I wanted to write something about what was going on in my classroom, I could add a photo of students maybe working hard on an application. I could say, look how hard we're working on math today. And then for students that have their parents logged in and signed up, I could post that and it would show up under just my class. Only parents and students of my class could see that. It also allows you to message parents if they have signed up through their email. And, you know, maybe a student gets a point off, and so they have a question about it. They can just do it directly on here, which is really helpful. So you can edit your class. Let's say I want to add a student, and then I'll put example 2. Now I have 2 students. I can edit, parents if they want to give me a phone number so they can get text messages or an email. I can edit the skills. So if I want to add a skill, like, can't remember if they had that on there, on time for class or something. And then you can give multiple points for that. But I'm just going to choose one, or the needs work. Now, right now, these students aren't getting subtracted a point. They would just click on, zero. They just won't get any higher. But you can edit that as to be, they're going to get a point taken away. And that's a new feature that you can click on it without it being a negative point. And then the sharing, you can share your class with other teachers. And as I said, I do that with my 6th grade team that I work with. So now that I have that, and I'll just go to my classroom, I can group students. So sometimes I do that just based on my schedule for the day. So I do it for each group that comes in. And then I just do it based on the times. And that's how I name the groups, is by their times that they're with me. So that way, if I need to, just reward one group for something, they're already right there. The report, I'm just going to do a couple so I know what it looks like here. And then if I hit report, I can view it for this week, last week, this month, all time, last month. Okay, so if I click on this one, now since I gave it positives and the needs work, I didn't subtract anything. It just shows, yep, it's 100% positive, and then it's because of teamwork. I could view a spreadsheet of that. And then it downloads it into Excel, and it says the dates and then when they got what they got. Obviously, it'll be more full when you use it for several days, but this is a great tool for just if you do have a behavior goal, because it keeps it all here. You could print this out for students, and you could print out all students at once. So sometimes at conference time, that might be a good time to say, yep, this is how they're doing in my class, and it just shows that same thing. Now, I will go and I'll reward for a couple different things so you can see what it looks like. See, they got one for helping others, on task. Then I'm going to say, yep, they got 1 point less. So now if I review my example, I'm at 80%. So I got 1 for participating, 1 for helping others, 1 for being on task, but then I got 1 for talking out of turn. So then if I am going to print that, it will build me a PDF. Click on that. And it just shows that same thing. And it shows it kind of in the date range that I used it. It shows parents what they can do to join the class if they're not sure how to do that. But it's also just, you could do it monthly, weekly. This could be the way that you progress monitor if you have a goal, like for being on task, within a certain period of time. It's great because it keeps track of everything for you. Another thing, you can set up accounts for students so that they can pick what their class dojo person looks like. Let's see. So if I clicked on the student and they wanted to change what it looked like, they could do that. Otherwise, you can do it under the teacher. You could either be a monster or a critter. I do not have students log in as their own just because it takes time and I need to set up a login for each of them. But what I do too is I'll set up like class goals. If the whole class gets so many points, we get to do this. And then like I would do a goal for, okay, every multiple of 10, so 10, 20, 30, you get to choose some specific rewards. And then, you could start over. So I believe, yes, you can reset bubbles. Okay. And then, as it said, it does not erase all the data. But if you maybe said, okay, once you get to 20, we're going to reset them and do a different set. If you have any additional questions on Class Dojo, feel free to contact me. They have done some updates with Class Dojo, so it looks like it's even more user-friendly than what it was last school year when I used it. But again, kind of the best way to figure out applications is just logging in, setting up an account, and then trying it out yourself. So again, please contact me with any questions, and I would be happy to help. Thanks.